Richard Hattangari for joining us on that. That, of course, will be our top focus at 7:30 p.m. But for now, going straight across to our other top focus of the day. We discuss a curious case of a meeting between the Congress Vice President and the Chinese ambassador to India, a meeting which the Congress initially chose to deny, but seeking to wrest the controversy took a U-turn just a short while back, admitting that it in fact did take place. But why the initial denial and what makes things murkier is the Chinese embassy in Delhi removing a statement on the visit from its website. Was the Indian Ministry of External Affairs kept in the loop about the meeting, or was there a breach? Did he or did not he meet the Chinese ambassador? That's what it boiled down to after Chinese embassy in Delhi claimed that Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi had met the Chinese ambassador on July 8th. The website post said the Chinese envoy met Gandhi and, quote, exchanged views on the current Sino-Indian relations, then without explanation. The post was deleted from the embassy website. Now, this meeting assumes significance in the wake of the continuing standoff between India and China over the Doklam Plateau near the India-China-Bhutan tri-junction, and the fact that Gandhi has been asking why Prime Minister Narendra Modi has remained silent on China. The Congress party tried to downplay the meeting, saying various ambassadors and envoys keep meeting both the Congress president and the vice president from time to time on a courtesy basis, and that nobody should attempt to sensationalize this. In fact, party spokesperson Randeep Singh Surjewala further said that not just the Chinese but also the Bhutanese envoy and ex-National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon had met Rahul Gandhi. Listen in to what he said.
Particularly those of G5 nations as also of the neighboring countries, be it the Chinese ambassador or Bhutanese ambassador or the former National Security Advisor Shri Shiv Shankar Menon. Shri Rahul Gandhi met all three of them.
Let's also listen in to what Manish Tiwari had to say.
For all those people, who've been getting very antsy about it since morning, I have some questions too. And my question is that if so much of a brouhaha is being made about it, then why did the Prime Minister of India actually cross Lake Alster and go to the Grand Elysee Hotel to meet with the Chinese President, Mr. Xi Jinping? Especially after the Chinese had made it known that a bilateral meeting, a structured bilateral meeting, because of the standoff in Bhutan on Doklam, is not possible.
Let's also take a look at the tweet which was put out by Rahul Gandhi. And for the record, I'm not the guy sitting on the swing while 1,000 Chinese troops had physically entered India. We will just contextualize that for the benefit of our viewers. The Chinese envoy had said in an interview that there was no scope for compromise and that for any dialogue to commence, India must pull back its soldiers. Since then, both countries have engaged in a war of words, reminding each other of the 1962 war that they fought. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently met Chinese President Xi Jinping at the G20 summit in Germany, a day after Beijing announced that the atmosphere was not right for a bilateral meeting with India. This meeting too came under fire from Congress leaders today, who attempted to deflect criticism about Rahul Gandhi's questioning why Prime Minister Modi was meeting Xi Jinping in Hamburg at a time when the standoff on the Sikkim border was continuing. let's break this down now for our viewers who might just be tuning in. First, a denial and then an acceptance. Joining us for more on that is our senior correspondent in WION Studios, Raghavendra Rao. Raghavendra, it's a very curious case of first a denial that the meeting never took place. That's the Congress's version initially, calling it fake news, going to that extent, and then admitting that yes, the meeting did take place. But the larger question is why the hesitation in admitting that the meeting took place, why the reluctance?
Indeed, Molly, it's very intriguing the manner in which the Congress party appears to have tied itself up in knots over such a simple matter. I mean, senior politicians meeting diplomats in Delhi, it's nothing unusual. It happens all the time. And in this case, we are talking about a vice president of a party, no less than Rahul Gandhi, who's the second highest leader in that party. And the fact that he's meeting, the Chinese envoy in Delhi is something, he should have come clean on, rather than, his party trying to go into a very defensive mode and trying to, attribute motives to the story itself, or, just trying to divert attention by saying that people are trying to sensationalize the issue. I mean, there was nothing which had to be, hidden in this thing. And it took them a while, it took them a few hours, but now they have acknowledged that he did indeed meet the Chinese envoy. In fact, Rahul himself has tweeted just a while back saying that he did meet the Chinese envoy, also the Bhutanese envoy, as well as ex-NSA Shiv Shankar Menon. And now he's tweeted saying that it is his job to meet all these people. I mean, that should have been the line from the moment, this story was first talked about. There was no point in the Congress spokespersons, going all defensive and saying that, this is fake news, this is news, motivated by certain elements who are trying to sensationalize the entire issue. So, very intriguing, and it's almost, it almost borders on silly, the way a simple thing like a meeting between a senior political leader and an envoy, being kept under the wraps like that.
Absolutely, and very interestingly, Randeep Singh Surjewala, while he has maintained just a short while back, taking a U-turn from his initial stance that the meeting, yes, did take place, it essentially sought to put to rest a controversy which was brewing over the last few hours. But perhaps that statement from Randeep Singh Surjewala has done quite the contrary, leading many to ask why the Congress could not maintain this stance since the very beginning. Also joining us on the broadcast this evening is senior journalist and political commentator Kalyani Shankar. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us here at WION. First up, what do you make of this initial denial and then a turnaround? Why the reluctance, according to you?
Well, in my opinion, the Congress has messed up the whole thing. First of all, more than why he met it, why Chinese wanted to meet him, and the timing of the meeting is very, very important for now, because there is some problem in the Bhutan-India-China border. So, keeping that in view, this meeting is very interesting. But then, after having met both the Bhutanese ambassador and the Chinese ambassador, why the Congress wanted to keep it a secret? I mean, as your correspondent was saying, there is nothing wrong. With envoys meet senior journalists, senior political leaders of all parties. And as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, Congress party has had a long association with the Chinese Communist Party. So they have been attending each other's party conclaves, and Rahul Gandhi himself, and along with Sonia Gandhi, had visited the Beijing Olympics, and he has been visiting China. And even recently he was invited, but because of the UP elections, he did not go. So when they have the long-standing association with the Chinese Communist Party, I don't know why they had to make a mess of the whole thing. First, they kept it as a secret for 8, today is 11. I think so many days they just kept it under wraps, and since morning also they said no. I think there is confusion whether to admit or not to admit. This shows the immaturity of the leadership, present-day leadership in the Congress. And I think Rahul Gandhi is being advised very wrongly by his advisors, whoever they are. And, in diplomatic issues, I don't think that they could make this kind of mistakes. So I hope they see the reason, and then, they try to correct themselves in future. And after all, it's not a small thing when India is warning China, and China's and our Prime Minister is meeting has met Xi, not in a bilateral meeting, but on the by the way on the sidelines of the meeting or the G20. So in all these, in this respect, I don't know why the Congress party has behaved the way it has behaved. And now what Rahul Gandhi has tweeted today, he should have done it the same day when he met
Absolutely. We'll just come to that tweet specifically as well, because that again opens an entire plethora of questions. But let's also give a listen in to what the BJP's Subramaniam Swamy had said.
This is not an issue of who meeting whom, but to lie that this didn't happen, to try and hide it, which is an indication that something clandestine was planned, and they got caught in it. We're trying to speak with diplomats and then try to get them to involve in the internal affairs of India, or in matters of national security where we have a confrontation on a border, in a border. That is what is shocking.
Okay, that's interestingly what the BJP is saying at this point. Of course, they are lashing out at the Congress for this flip-flop, making the most of this rather embarrassing situation, as we've been discussing, that the Congress finds itself in. Let's also now put out for you once again that tweet that the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi has put out just a few minutes back, trying to put this controversy to rest, trying to also lash out at the Indian Prime Minister. But does that serve the purpose of what the Congress is trying to do at the moment, questioning the Prime Minister? Let's get out that tweet for the benefit of our viewers once again. The tweet that Rahul Gandhi has put out just a short while back. There we have it on our screens. I want to come to both Raghavendra and Kalyani Shankar on this. Raghavendra, it's very interesting what the Congress has been trying to do right from the very beginning. Question the Indian Prime Minister on trying to engage with China at a time when there is a continuing border standoff, which is escalating, but at the same time now finds itself in this tricky situation, which from the very beginning was not complicated.
Absolutely, and as we discussed a while back, I mean, there was nothing unusual in Rahul Gandhi meeting the Chinese envoy in Delhi. The fact that he had been criticizing the Prime Minister for not talking on China at a time when the Indian forces are locked in a standoff at the Bhutan-Trai junction. That aside, I mean, maybe, you know, he got, or the party got too defensive over the fact that on one hand, he has been criticizing the Prime Minister for not talking on China, and on the other hand, he has met the Chinese envoy, and the details of that meeting are not public. Nobody knows what they talked about, or whether this meeting, should it have happened in this atmosphere where Indian forces and Chinese forces are, locked in that standoff. Right. Whether he should have met the Chinese envoy in the first place or not. Maybe that's the reason why the Congress party tried to hush it up. Maybe, in hindsight, they felt he shouldn't have met him probably at this point in time. Maybe that's the reason. But even then, I mean, if he had met him, there was no point in trying to hide that thing. Right. Because sooner or later, it would have come out anyways.
Right. Kalyani Shankar, your thoughts on this latest tweet that's come in from Rahul Gandhi, of course, escalating and maintaining his earlier jibe on the Indian Prime Minister when it comes to engaging with China at a time when tensions are running high on the border amidst the border standoff in Dokulam. Also, now this tweet that's come afresh just a few minutes back, quoting, and for the record, I'm not the guy sitting on the swing while 1,000 Chinese troops had physically entered India.
Well, you see, I don't know exactly what in the meeting they had discussed. And no harm in Chinese envoy meeting the Indian leaders. But particularly at this present point of time, there is some confrontation. The Prime Minister is talking to Xi, President Xi of China. And when that is a thing. And how does Rahul Gandhi know what is the actual situation? Has the MEA or the Defense Ministry briefed him about what is going on? What is that Rahul Gandhi can tell the Chinese envoy, which the Indian government cannot say? And what influence does Rahul Gandhi has with the present dispensation? Because if Rahul Gandhi comes up with some solution also, is the Prime Minister going to accept it? Is he going to give credit to Rahul Gandhi or the Congress? The way the confrontation is going on the presidential candidate and on the other things, I doubt very much whether he will be able to even persuade the Prime Minister to meet him now. So under all these circumstances, I wonder why he met him, and if he met him, why he kept it as a secret, and if he didn't, why he's not revealing what he's discussed with the Chinese envoy and the Bhutanese envoy. Because there is one more point here, because Rajiv Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and Sonia Gandhi, they have got a very good family relationship with the King of Bhutan. So that also you should take into point, and the Bhutan is an affected party in this. So probably that is one reason he might have come forward. But they could have explained all this instead of hiding the whole thing and saying it's a fake news. The whole thing has been messed up by the Congress.
The whole thing has been messed up, and perhaps this was a situation that the Congress should not have put itself in from the very beginning. All this controversy could have been avoided. Let's now listen in to continuous reactions that are trickling in on this developing story. CPI's D. Raja also reacting. Let's take a listen in.
It is for the Congress party to explain their position, why they denied first, why they confirm now, and why this is all happening in our political life. Parties keep meeting several envoys now and then. There is nothing to hide, nothing to be secretive.
And also what's murkier is that the original post that was put out by the Chinese embassy earlier on was removed. It was taken off after the Congress had denied that such a meeting took place. Was that a part of a cover-up? And was the Ministry of External Affairs of India also kept in the loop or not, Raghavendra? That's something again which crops up while we continue to speculate over why the Congress would deny that such a meeting took place.
Well, that's probably the most intriguing part of this entire episode, Molly. I mean, I can understand Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party trying to hush up the matter, saying, this never happened, yes, or indicate that. But the fact that the Chinese embassy, they first put out a press release with a one-line mention saying that the Chinese envoy did meet Mr. Gandhi on July 8th, and matters related to Sino-Indian affairs were indeed discussed. And as soon as the story broke out, that press release was removed from their web portal.
Right.
That's inexplicable. I mean, I don't know, why would the Chinese embassy do that? The only plausible explanation which comes to my mind is that, these embassies and these diplomats who are in Delhi, when they are meeting, leaders across the political spectrum, they are, in effect, they are engaging in public relation. They know that Congress is a big party. It was in power for 10 years. Some point of time, it can again be in power in the country. So they maintain their public relation, through public relations, they maintain their contacts, and, they keep alive the relationship by having these meetings.
Right.
And the fact that the Congress reacted in such a defensive manner as soon as the story erupted that,
yes,
Mr. Gandhi had met the envoy, probably, a request might have gone in from the Congress's side to the embassy saying it was a courtesy call or it was a courtesy meeting and there was no need for you to put it out in the form of an official press release. Maybe that could have happened. That probably could have been the reason for the embassy to have taken down that, web post.
Yes.
Nothing else comes to my mind, and, that is something which still remains unanswered.
Which still remains unanswered. Kalyani Shankar, I have enough time just for a quick closing remark from you. From a defensive stance, now the Congress is trying to inch closer to an offensive stance, as that tweet by the Congress Vice President just a few minutes back also highlights that the Congress is now yet again trying to lash out at the Indian Prime Minister's policy towards China and engagement with China. But the larger question is, can the Congress now cover up further the kind of mess that it has found itself in?
Well, see, there is no doubt that the Congress is trying to, Rahul Gandhi himself is trying to do some damage control. That is exactly what he meant by this tweet. And also, being offensive is better than being defensive. And after all, the Congress is the opposition party. It has every right to be offensive than defensive. And in this particular case, Rahul Gandhi has always been attacking Modi personally. So that also has not been boomeranging on the Congress all the time. So there are advisors who tell Rahul Gandhi not to do it personally, but attack on policies, but which he is not taking note of. So this is one other instance of how the Congress has messed up a very good, attacking point. When the parliament is coming now, they will definitely be raising this issue. And when this issue is raised, then what will be the answer for Rahul Gandhi? Then will he at least reveal in the House why he met the Chinese envoy when things are going so wrong on the triangular place? So I just don't know what he will come up with. But they have enough time, another 10 days or so, for them to think about all these. And as I have been repeatedly saying, it's a total mess up in the Congress, because I don't know who decides all these and who is advising him and why he is advising them like that. And then why Rahul Gandhi is bungling one after the other. There is not a single thing is done properly till today.
All right, let's leave it there for the moment. Completely out of time. Thanking both Kalyani Shankar and Raghavendra Rao for joining us on this discussion. A lot of questions, though, still remain unanswered over why the Congress initially denied and now accepted that the meeting did take place. Perhaps some clarity will emerge over the next few days. But for now, the opposition is definitely not going to let go of this opportunity yet again to try and lash out at the Indian Prime Minister, while it finds itself in that embarrassing fix. With that, it's a wrap on this edition for now. Stay tuned to World is One News for more news and updates.